So in this video, I want to explain you how to use the Slacktivity bungees. A huge advantage of the Slacktivity bungees is that they are adjustable depending on the tension in the line. Here I have 4 reps, but you can, for example, also use it with 3, 4 or 5 reps. And obviously with more reps, you can use it with higher tensions in the line. For Highline freestyle, you can do much crazier bounces than without bungees. And upon that, you're less weather dependent because nylon binds water, and when it gets wet, it gets more stretchy. So every time it gets wet, you have to adjust the tension. And with bungees, you don't have this problem. So even if it's wet, you just arrive at the line and you have the perfect tension. You just go on the line, have your crazy good session. Slacktivity has 4 different sizes of bungees: small, medium, large, and extra large. The difference between the bungees is the length. All of these bungees are adjustable depending on the tension in the line. With all of them, you can adjust the numbers of reps. So you will be wondering which bungee is good for which kind of use. So for example, with the small bungee, you can use it to put into a beginner highline to simply absorb the leash falls. The line will feel exactly the same as without the bungee, but the leash falls will be around 50% softer. You can also, for example, use it in a 65-meter freestyle highline. Normally it already feels great when it's rigged on nylon, but sometimes you're bottoming out. And with a small bungee, you can solve this problem. Then size M will make, for example, the leash falls even softer in a beginner highline, or in a freestyle highline, when you put it into a 60 or 65-meter freestyle highline, you will already feel quite a difference. The bounces will become bigger and slower. With the bungees L, this effect will be even greater, and you can, for example, rig nylon freestyle highlines of 40-45 meters length, and you can still make nice bouncing sessions on them. And then the extreme case is the extra large bungees. They are great for super short freestyle highlines. For example, when you want to rig a 30-meter freestyle highline, the extra large bungees will make it possible. Or if you want to rig your freestyle highline not on nylon, but for example on Dyneema or polyester, then you're going to need extra large bungees on both anchors, and you can still make monster bounces. Be aware that these recommendations might change over time once we gain more experience. So let's come to the point, how to use the bungees. So basically here it's ready to be used. On one side I have a big shackle where I can connect, for example, the tree sling or whatever I want to connect. On the other side, I have a little sling to connect the web lock. There are different options. You can also take a round sling, and we're going to have 35 centimeter short round sling, especially for that use. What I would not recommend to use is anything that is super thin. For example, a 5mm Dyneema cord is more cutty than a big sling like that. You don't every time have to take it apart, but once it's ready like this, you can just keep using it for the next session. I shortly show you how to adjust the number of layers. Now it's on 4, then you make one a little bit longer, you put a rep into it, and you try to adjust the length of all the cords. So now it's on 5 layers, ready again to be used. So here we have some old bungee prototypes that we've been testing for 8 months in a perma rig. They are a bit thinner than the ones we are selling. That's why it's a different amount of layers. And here you can see that this is some extra pop fixed with a prusik. And the cool thing about these extra pop bungees is you can do the fine tuning. If the line is a bit too soft, you can just add 1 more layer with prusiks, or 2 more if you wish, and you can just clip them in and out with a carabiner. It's important to make sure that the prusik is not touching the bungees. That's why it's fixed in a different place here, so that the prusik have some distance to the bungees. Be aware that these bungees are not yet certified for highline use, simply because there is absolutely no option yet to do so. We hope to do that in future once the ISA offers a certification for highline bungees. The Slacktivity bungees can not only be used in highlines, but they can also be used in short lines, in long lines, even in Rodeolines. We will give out more recommendations about that in future, but here you can just see a few examples how they are being implemented. They are, for example, great if you want to learn the sit mount including a bounce, so you can really simulate longer lines with the slackline bungees. If you feel like the bungees are too long, you always have the options to adjust the length of the bungees by opening the knot and tying the double fisherman one more time. At least so far, I've always been capable to reopen the knot even after 6 months in a perma rig. A single strand of the 18mm bungee rope has a breaking strength of around 3.5 kilonewton. This means if you use it like in 4 reps, you will have a breaking strength of around 27 kilonewton.